Hello. I just want to share this story. Brother Don, my pastor, says it's a true story. He shared it just this morning. I think he may have shared it more than once. I think he might have shared it before, but it's hilarious and it spoke to me. This is the way I am. I'll admit I worry about a lot of times things that don't amount to anything. A lot of times things that ain't none of my business. But that's the way. Uh, this is kind of what happened to this certain woman. He didn't give a name. But he said this woman called the police. She heard something that sounded like, or at least she thought it sounded like a gunshot. And she thought somebody had shot her in the head. And she reached back to feel, and she thought it was blood coming down. And she called the police. She got so scared, or she called her mama, and her mama called the police. Or she might have called the police first and then called her mama. And her mama said, she said, they're here now, the daughter did, or something. And she said, well, unlock the door, let him in. She said, no, I'm so scared. She said, I think somebody shot me, and I think I feel my brains and blood coming down. I think I feel my brains on my head, and can you imagine? This is sad, but it's funny too. It's funny, but it's not funny. You know, if she would have felt her brains, she would have been dead. But anyway, this is just the way the enemy comes against you. How you can worry over nothing. The police finally got in there. Had to break into the woman's house, poor thing, and they found out all it was she had her back turned to the stove. She was probably eating at a table not far from where her stove was, and she had her back turned to the stove, but she was close enough that a biscuit had hit her in the back of the head, and that was what she thought was blood, and her brains sticking out. She she was just, it was nothing, it wasn't a thing in the world but biscuits. And that's the way we do a lot of times. That's the way worry is. It makes mountains out of molehills. I just had to share that because that's so funny. I imagine she felt sorry for her. She hated that so bad when she had to. Can you imagine having to replace those windows? I just hope, I don't guess they put her in a mental institution. I pray they didn't, but don't you know, she probably made sure that never happened again. Bless her heart.